Dear brother and sister, the saints in Christ, welcome to a new episode. We already finished the first 3 episodes of our series, Faith and Deeds. Those 3 episodes actually were, I recorded them back in April 2023. Still 3 more to come. Actually, these are newer ones, been already prepared and recorded and or filmed, and actually where I'm discussing or like presenting some stuff from the book of Romans, and also the few verses of the epistle of James that the traditional people all the time they bring them over when this issue is mentioned, because there is a new hot topic. So I had to do this episode in between those the series. All right, so still we are going to continue about faith and deeds after this one. Today's episode title is Destruction of the Statue of Saint Anthony Assures the Paganism of the Coptic Orthodox Church. There is a video for a deacon called Dioscorus. I'll put, it's of course in Arabic. I'll put the link in the description if you'd like to watch the whole thing. He's talking about like he's against the statues in the Coptic Orthodox Church and considers it as paganism. All right, and you will see this. All right, we got 3 points to cover. First of all, introduction. This episode actually will refer for more information to previous episodes to assure that what we've said before is correct. All right, and now some of them like admitting something, but at the same time is going again to go around the bush because he must defend the icons. Okay, so introduction. Number 1, we did speak, or we have spoken about the statue of Assiut, and to assure that this is an idol, definitely, in episode number 191 and 192. If you would like to, if you haven't watched them, it's a good idea to watch them. Number 2, we have spoken before in episode number 169 that Bishop Epiphanius in the 4th century, Bishop of Salamis, he tore a curtain that was on the door of a church in Jerusalem, where actually it was embroidered on it like a photo. He said could be of Jesus or one of the saints. He said I can't remember, but anyway he tore it and he said this is totally wrong. We cannot have something like that at all. So we spoke in this in episode number 169. On the same episode also I brought what Pope Cyril IV, Pope number 110, who is called Father of Reformation. He was a Pope from 1853 up to 1861, like the second half of the 19th century. So I would say less than 150 years ago. What did he do, this man? He actually burned down all the icons and called them idols. The icons, called them idols, and said, no, this is idol worshipping, in the same episode. All right, so I got you now that 2 people, one from the 4th century, one from the 19th century in the Coptic Church. The first one, of course, not Coptic Church. There was no Coptic Church at that time still, but from the original church when there was no divisions yet, and except maybe Arius was already gone, and 19th century from the Coptic Church, they decided no, this is idol worshipping. All right, okay. Number 3, with the current situation of destroying the statue of Anbba Anطونيوس, I would encourage you also to know what is the position of Saint Anthony regarding the relics of the saints, because totally he was against it. This is episode number 161. So this means the church now is worshipping the dead people. Number 4, with the current situation, it's a big issue, because they're destroying, and like some people will for and against. Okay. Now, when I discussed and presented my series about icons, statues, and relics, some people very much defended the icons in the Coptic Orthodox Church based on the two statues of the cherubim in the tent or in the temple. Okay, I answered that at that time. But now, why those people that defended the icons by the two cherubim statues in the Holy of Holies, why they are against the statues now? I repeat this again. When I discussed and said icons are wrong, I said no, they are not wrong, because even the Lord himself asked Moses to do statues. All right? So now, when you say the Lord asked Moses to do statues, why you are against the statues now? This means you're double-minded or double standard, or you don't understand. All right? They just comments. All right? Next one. Number 5. Now there are some people consider this as some sort of conspiracy from the Catholic Church to invade the Coptic Orthodox Church by the idols. My goodness. Do you reckon that the Catholic Church actually look at you with any weight? They are more than 1.3 billion, and you are about 20, even not 20 millions. And by the way, those Catholic, together with the Greek Orthodox and the affiliated churches, in year 451, they cut you off from the body of the church, and just they put you like in the tip of the history. So to them, you are absolutely nothing. So don't think that they try to penetrate you really, like to spoil your faith. And you don't have any evidence, by the way. Did you get anything that some meetings or some money was given for those people to do these statues? Absolutely not. So you are actually influenced by the Muslims around you with the same mentality. What a shame. You should be ashamed of yourselves, by the way. Okay. Now, so that was the first point. Second point, in today's episode, we are going to analyze a video by, like, I would say, like a zealous deacon. He's really a deacon, like not just agnostus or like a reader or ipsaltus or subdeacon. No, he's like deacon. You will see him like in his full whatever, and he's totally against the statues. And he described offering incense before the statue makes it an idol. This is the main point. This is the very right point that he mentioned. That's why I was interested in this one. In addition to this, he did some stuff that is really bad as well, but I'll expose all of those ones. Like I will get 3 things, but one of them was perfect. But unfortunately, this also will be against him, as we'll see through the episode. He realized that offering incense before the bronze serpent was idol worshipping, and accordingly he applied it exactly the same on the statue of Assiut. He said applying offering incense and glorification before the statue makes it an idol worship. This is 100% correct. What about when I offer to the before the icons? He tried now to go around the bush. So let's watch his first section and come back.
تلاقي الأيقونة مسطحة، مفيش فيها الرسم ثلاثي الأبعاد. ليه؟ رمزيا لأننا على الأرض لم نأخذ أبعاد أخرى، إحنا بنعيش ببعدين فقط، الإيمان والرجاء، فعشان كده الصور القبطية بتلاقيها ببعدين.
He says the Coptic icon is just flat. It has only 2 dimensions. Good. And said, we live in 2 dimensions. Oh my goodness. What are you talking about, mate? What this junk you're talking about? What do you mean but we live in 2 dimensions? And he said this time 2 dimensions are faith and hope. Wow. By the way, faith and hope, this part of a verse, by the way, but actually it says faith, hope, and love. You'll find this in the first epistle of Corinthians, I think chapter 12, because at chapter 13, St. Paul is going to speak about love. Huh? But doesn't make any sense. What do you mean by we live in 2 dimensions, like the the Coptic icon has 2 dimensions, and our 2 dimensions are faith and hope. Dear brother and sister, he actually deals with you as you are totally stupid. You are like mentally retarded, and he expects you to understand, like to believe him. All right. I have a comment on this. This means what? Now he would like to say the icon is correct, but the statue is not correct. All right. So this means what Pope Cyril IV, the 110th Pope that we just mentioned, that this means he was wrong, because actually he burned down the icons. It was not a statue at the time, but was icons. So the Shemmas or the Deacon Dioscorus would like to say icons okay, but the statues are not. So what about Pope Cyril IV, Pope number 110, less than 150 years ago? He destroyed the icons. Was he wrong? Number 2. What about Bishop Epiphanius of Salamis? In the 4th century, he tore the veil that had the broidery of a photo, could be it was of Jesus or one of the saints. Number 3, what do you mean by we live in 2 dimensions? My goodness. What do you mean we believe with faith and hope? What about love? Last point, with the same illogic, with the same no logic, why don't we say we live in 3 dimensions, which actually the verse says like faith, hope, and love, and accordingly we say now statues are okay because there are 3 dimensions. He is happy with 2 dimensions but not happy with 3 dimensions. What about the 2 statues of cherubim? Had 3 dimensions, and God allowed them, and you took this like to approve to prove the what is it, the icons, but at the same time you don't want to prove the statues. Okay. Now let's watch now a second part of the clip, which I do respect. Also, I do highly respect him on this point, and actually I decided like to analyze this video because this particular point. I'll tell you what's in this particular point, because it's in Arabic, of course. He assures that the statue of Assiut turned into an idol. Why? Because incense and glorification was offered before the statue, and he said this made it exactly the same like the bronze serpent which was destroyed by Hezekiah the king back in the 8th century before Christ. So now the point is, offering, as I've mentioned many times, many years ago, offering incense before an object is worship idols. So he assured this, offering incense and glorification before the statue of Assiut made it an idol exactly like the bronze serpent. For this one, I do appreciate and greet you in this discovery, dear brother Deacon Dioscorus. All right? So let's watch this and come back again.
اللي انتقلت ما بين احترام الفن وتقديره إلى كارثة تمثال حريصة المتواجد في أسيوط هي دي الشعرة اللي اتقطعت. فأصبح عندنا تمثال بخر له، الفيديوهات موجودة زي ما قلنا، تمثال قدم له تكريم للتمثال أكثر من صاحبة التمثال. هم نفس الأشخاص يتماسون لتحول تمثال حريص أسيوط إلى صنم فعليا. ما هو لما يتبخر له وعايزين يدشنوا بالميرون انتقل إلى حية نحاسية كما عبدها شعب إسرائيل.
Well done, 100%. Yes, offering incense before an object make it a god. So if it is not the true God, then it is idol worshipping. All right. Unfortunately, the coming one will show you're trying now to go around the bush, which is a shame to have it like that. Now, this time, that's why I call it, I have a half word of truth out of this shamas, or this deacon. All right. Just to get the half word of truth is just what we've seen in the second bit. All right. The third one, now we'll go back again because it's shamas. He must now back again to defend what? To defend the icons. Defend the icons. So let's watch now this one because he's going to speak in more detail about the bronze serpent, but with some stuff that is not biblical. But the way he said it assures to me he's saying it not intentionally, but because of ignorance of the Bible. This is very common in the Orthodox. They focus on oral tradition, which no one knows what it is. The rituals, but not the Bible. Will they be like evangelical people? No, of course not. So my object of presenting this segment, like to clarify the wrong stuff that he put because it might mislead some people. All right, but he did it with definitely ignorance. He should have read the 4 verses that we'll read later. So let's watch this and come back again.
ده اللي يعني انا بقى ناس بخرت عند التمثال والفيديوهات موجوده، الفيديوهات موجوده، تمثال عذراء داخل في اسيوط والبخور حواليه والتمجيد وتناسوا تماما اصول الفكر الارثوذكسي والقاعده الارثوذكسيه. فتحول تمثال اسيوط كما ارى الى الحيه النحاسيه. يعني ايه الحيه النحاسيه؟ فاكرين الحيه النحاسيه؟ تلك الحيه التي امر الله موسى ان يصنعها فانقذ الشعب. لكن مع الوقت ايه اللي حصل؟ اللي حصل في الحيه النحاسيه ان الشعب انتقل الى عبادتها، وبعد ما انتقل الى عبادتها حتى سموها اطلقوا عليها الاسماء وكانوا يقدمون لها الذبائح، وكان في قصه كبيره قوي على الحيه النحاسيه دي. فجاء حزقيا الملك حطم الحيه النحاسيه. الله.
Okay. He's saying, you remember the bronze serpent? Yes, we remember the bronze serpent. They gave her I began to say they gave her names. No. And he did not mention any name. Dear brother, deacon, whatever, you should have read it before coming like live, right? And they say, gave her names. No. He gave her only one name and not name of a god. Why I'm concerned? Because when he said they gave her names, he gave the impression that if they gave her names of gods, no. They gave her only one name, which was actually describing it. So they gave her one name named Nahshatan or Nukhshatan. This is a Hebrew word that means what? The bronze serpent. That's it, full stop. Also, he said they used to offer sacrifices to her. No, the Bible doesn't say they offer sacrifices to her, because when you say that to people, if they don't know their true story in the Bible, you will think, this means they worship it. No, they worship it not because offering sacrifices, but because offering incense to it. All right? That's why I had to clarify this to you guys, because I kept saying that. He said it once correct in the second segment, but in the third one now he is doing the wrong thing. So we have to clarify this to you. So it was only one name, and the name actually was describing it. All right. What is the second one? Second one, he said they offer sacrifices. No, they did not offer sacrifices, or only used to offer incense. Now I'm going to read to you, and after that he said, it's a big story. No, dear brother, it is not a big story at all. Don't mislead people or cheat them. Believe me, it's a half verse. It's a half verse. The story of destroying it, half verse. It's a big story during Moses, but because we're talking now about the statues and all that stuff, it is only half a verse. You can read this in the book of 2 Kings chapter 18. All right. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, the son of Elah, king of Israel, the northern state, Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, this is the southern state, began to reign. Good. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. Now those two verses. Verse number 3. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father David had done. Now this is 3rd verse. Now let us read verse 4. The whole story is half of the verse 4. He, good, removed the high places, good, and broke the sacred pillars. That was the second thing. Yes? What about the third thing? It's still in the same verse. He cut down the wooden images. This is the third thing he did. Now the fourth thing. So actually, it is fourth of a verse, not even half of the verse. And they broke in pieces the bronze serpent. The bronze serpent that Moses had made. For until those days, the children of Israel burned incense to it and called it Nahshatan. So first of all, until those days, this means actually they continued doing this for 750 years. Not a short time, long time. So they can say, yes, we have taken the same tradition from our fathers. So, long time. Second thing, it was the one that actually made by Moses to assure what is it. And they were doing what? Burned incense. They didn't say offering sacrifices. Burned incense, and they called it Nahshatan, which means the bronze serpent. That's it. So it was not a big story to mislead people. It was just 1/4 of a verse, say half of the verse, but not a big thing. So people think it is a big thing to wrap it in their heads. No, go and read it. Full stop, and that's it. Finish the story. Finished. All right. Third point, which is a KO of this episode, which is the most important thing now, destroying the statue of Saint Anthony assures what? The paganism of the Coptic Orthodox Church. How come, Brother Sami? They actually don't want it? Nah, let's read this together. Exodus chapter 20. You shall not make yourselves a carved image. Good. Which is like statue. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it and you offer incense before it, it's what? Idol worshipping. If you make glorification before it, idol worshipping. If it's a statue, right? I repeat this again. You shall not make yourself a carved image, or any likeness of any that is in heaven above, or that is on earth beneath, or that is water in the water under the earth. So the word any likeness. So this means the icon also. If you offer incense before it, it is what? Idol worship. I repeat this again. This is Exodus 20. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness. Any likeness, actually, of course, it is translated photo in Arabic, but because there is no word for likeness in Arabic. So, whether a carved image or any other thing, it is idol worshipping. So, if you have no statue, but you have an icon, and you offer incense before it, if it is just a photo, that's fine. The art is okay. But once you offer incense before it, it changed it into what? An idol. So whether it is a statue or an icon, it is the same thing. That's why I say, when you say destroy the statue, not to offer incense before it. You offer incense before the statue on Assiut. This is idol worshipping. That's great. What about offering the incense before an icon? Again, it's the same thing, because the commandment that forbade a carved image forbade any likeness. Okay, I read also Deuteronomy chapter 5. Take careful heed. So the Lord is very keen on this. Take careful heed to yourselves, for you saw no form when the Lord spoke to you at Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you act corruptly and make for yourselves a carved image in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female. So the commandment that forbade making carved image also forbade any likeness, any form. It doesn't mean we against art. The problem is, once you offer incense before it, this means what? It is idol worship. So whether it is a statue or a photo or icon, if you'd like to call it this way, it is idol worshipping. So when you say, no, take the statue because it's an idol. How do you know it's an idol? As the deacon said, because if you offer incense before it, it becomes like the bronze serpent. If you offer glorification before it, now it is idol worshipping. So if you say take the statue off, but you keep the icon, it is the same thing. Make sense? All right. So I hope that this episode will make many people like to review themselves. The church is full of idol worshipping, and unfortunately, Deacon Dioscorus saw the truth that offering the incense before the statue is an idol worshipping. At the same time, he would like to have a blind eye to offering incense before the icon. And it has 2 dimensions, that's the other one 3 dimension. He didn't say honoring all that stuff, because it's all rubbish, all just trying to what? Satan actually is trying like to make you accept it and swallow it. Dear brothers and sisters, whenever you go to the church and you see the priest offering the incense before anything, tell this is the bronze serpent, this is idol worship, this should be smashed and thrown away. This is what Pope Cyril IV had done. This is what Bishop Epiphanius of Selemes in the 4th century had done. Pray for the ministry, for the channel, and unless the Lord comes, we'll meet again in another episode. May the Lord bless you all. سلام المسيح يكون معكم.